Duality, Book 1 of the Forgotten Realms series. Chapter 1. The gentle words and melody floated through the room like a calming wind. The peaceful tunes did little to stir Stephanie from her slumber. It wasn't until the 30-minute block of non-stop country finished that she finally awakened from her peaceful sleep. As the weather report promised a high of 70 degrees, she reached over and slapped the snooze button. The large red digital numbers flashed 9:05 a.m. as she rubbed the sleep from her eyes. "Shit," she cursed as the time finally registered in her still groggy mind. "Looks like I won't be making it to class today," she muttered as she threw the large comforter away from her body and made her way to the shower. It was nearing the end of the semester at the college. With finals due in 2 weeks, most of Stephanie's time was spent studying in class with her lab partner or in the library working on her thesis paper. The last 4 years had seemed to drag on endlessly for her, but at long last, just around the corner, laid her grand achievement for the time spent, a Bachelor's of Science degree with a major in religious studies. With the shower now running cold, Stephanie stepped forth into the fog-filled room and towel-dried her long, sandy blonde hair. With the edge of the towel she wiped the fog off the mirror and then surveyed the dark circles forming under her eyes before making her way out of the bathroom. She stepped into an old pair of jeans, threw on a sweater over her wet hair, and pulled on her sneakers. She thought against making coffee, bypassing the coffee pot completely. "Better to not waste a day of work," she said as she picked up her book bag and made her way out the door. Stephanie pulled the car into a parking lot across from the campus. She coasted the car to a stop in a space and cut off the engine. It was a little walk to the college library, but she didn't feel like wasting time circling the campus lot looking for a closer place, knowing that she wouldn't find one. She stuffed the keys in her pocket, slung the backpack over her shoulder, and trudged across the grass toward the library on campus. The library wasn't as crowded as Stephanie had anticipated it would be. It was easy for her to find an empty table near the religious reference section. She threw her backpack on the solid oak tabletop. It landed with a loud, echoing thud that seemed to travel the length of the building. Paying no mind to the noisy interruption, she made her way through the endless rows of books, trying to recall where she had left off on her previous visit. After 10 minutes of searching and muttering curses under her breath, Stephanie emerged from the rows of books and returned to the table with the reference volume she had been searching for. They hit the table next to her backpack in a cloud of dust and more echoes. Somewhere from across the room floated the hiss of the annoyed librarian. "Shh!" Stephanie rolled her eyes and pulled out her notebook. She wrote down the volume number, edition, and author information, then where she found the book in the library, just in case she needed to reread it later. She then turned her attention to scanning the old, worn-out pages for anything that held weight in her current work. Stephanie had spent the last 4 years chasing the theory that heaven and hell existed beyond the veil of what was commonly referred to as reality. If they existed, perhaps other places existed as well, and every religion that had their own views could possibly be just as right as another. The thought sent chills down her spine to think that once and for all she could prove that no one was wrong, and perhaps then everyone would find a way to be at peace. The hours passed by as Stephanie continued her research. The occasional footstep passing in the main aisle took momentary attention away from her studies as she looked up to see who passed by. For the most part, the library remained quiet. She made notes, cross-referenced pages, and calculated various theories in her mind as she failed to notice the passing time. It wasn't a spectacular day by any means. Stephanie rubbed her tired eyes, at last satisfied by the productivity of the day. For a moment her mind wandered. Then, there it was. The sharp pain in Stephanie's temples nearly knocked her from her chair in agony. The flash of a scene caught her off guard, making her unaware that she had cried out in surprise. The image appeared again, taking mere seconds to leave her vision. The pain was so intense she could have vomited, and then wept, as it continued to throb to the rhythm of the pulsing memory in her mind. Stephanie struggled through the pain. Another flash came, and finally her mind registered the picture of a dimly lit circular room. Torches flickered as the picture faded again. When it reappeared, she stood in the center of the room, forcing herself to look around. The numbing pain intensified again, threatening to send her into darkness. She struggled, clawed at nothing, fighting for air, fighting the air itself, until all at once it was over.